Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Spider, and welcome back to another mini review, the shorter, simpler versions of my regular reviews. Been a while since I did one of these, huh? Anyways, today we're going to be taking a look at the Playmates King Kong 2005 Kong vs. Venatosaurus. Now, unfortunately, I lost the dinosaur counterpart to the set probably over 10 years ago. And I tried to get another one for this review, but that proved to be a little more difficult than I initially thought. I'll explain why later in the review. But I still got Kong here, so we can take a look at him. So here we got the Kongster. And this figure released back in 2005, and it's based on the 2005 Peter Jackson King Kong movie, as you might have guessed. Anyways, so to start things off, we shall take a look at the articulation. The head can rotate at an angle, kind of. The arms can go all the way around. They also have, I'll be able to get this on camera. It's kind of hard to see in there. Let's see here. You can kind of see there is a joint that kind of allows the arm to move in and out like that. Kind of a weird joint. You can't do a whole lot with it, but it's there. He's got a somewhat limited elbow, a wrist swivel, and an opening hand. The other hand opens a little less, simply because the mold is different, but still opens nonetheless. The legs can move about that far forward and about that far back. And they can rotate at an angle. He also has a bend at the knee that is also kind of limited. Alright, so yeah, while the articulation is kind of limited, there is a surprising amount of it. I mean, a wrist rotation and an opening hand on just a basic movie toy, you don't see that very often. So yeah, he's pretty cool. I quite like it. Now, on to the details. So we'll bring up the camera here a little bit so we can see his face a bit better. See his... Trying to get a better angle so you can see things a little bit better, but seems like this is going to be as good as we can get. So you got his face here. Got a nice Kong looking face. A lot of the white on the teeth is scraped off, unfortunately, but some of it's still there. He's got the red for the tongue. He's got a big old gash on the side of his face there. He has eyes, his nose, and he got his chest. And the chest, hands, and feet are all a different color than the rest of the body. They're more of like kind of a brownish, black, gray sort of color. Kinda. You can see it's like a different color than the rest of the body. He's got some claw marks on there. Focus, you can see that. There you go. There we are. Now you can see that. He's got some scuffs on his brow as well. I didn't see that before. So he's got some cuts on the chest, on the arm, on his other arm, on his belly, on the side of his belly, on his leg, on his back, and everywhere. Yeah, this guy goes, oh, and on his leg as well. He's got, and on his other leg as well. Yeah, this Kong has a lot of battle damage on him. But it just shows how many fights he's been in. He's tough, battle worn. See the fur, which originally was more white. You can kind of see it there. And on his leg, there was more of this white paint on the fur, which has faded over the years. But it looked kind of weird, honestly. It made him look like he just got done playing in the snow. So I'm kind of glad that it's mostly worn off, because, like I said, it looked a little odd. He got his big old gorilla hands. You see the detail in there. It's pretty nice. He got his legs. Big old gorilla feet. He got his back. So, yeah, overall, he looks pretty nice. Does a decent job at replicating the look of the 2005 Kong. So yeah, he is quite cool. And he also has a gimmick that unfortunately doesn't really work anymore. But if you come to his back here, you see he's got a butt as well as a button. And basically what you would do is you would raise up his arms and you would press the button and the arm would go down, which doesn't really work anymore. It kind of broke. And his gimmick would go along with the dinosaurs gimmick, the Venatosaurus that came with the set. It had a button on their back that when pressed, it would kind of go limp, sort of, like the limbs would all, like, dislocate. They were all still attached to the body by a string, so you didn't have to worry about losing them, but... So yeah, he would raise up his arm, press the button, it would swing down, hit the dinosaur, and the dinosaur would die. I don't know. It was weird, but it kind of worked, sort of. The only problem is the dinosaur was kind of useless outside of that gimmick, which is why I think I kind of lost it and why I hung on to Kong, because he actually is he's pretty good. You can play with him as a toy and is useful outside of the gimmick. I mean, heck, his gimmick is broken and he's still, fun as a toy, so yeah. I think that's why I hung on to him and lost the other one. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this Kong figure. Now, on to the size comparisons. Alrighty, to start off the size comparisons, here it is with a Lego minifigure, with a Pack of Destruction minifigure Mothra, with the Pack of Destruction minifigure Godzilla, and finally here it is with Bandai Godzilla 2000 figure from 2013. So you can see how he scales against the Bandai figure, and honestly, it's not bad. It looks nice. So that is quite cool. Now we're done with that. Measuring time. Get the measuring out here. You can see here that he is basically a little over 6 inches. Doesn't really look like that on camera. Hang on. I'm going to raise up the camera a little bit here so it looks a little better. There, now you can see it is about 6.5 inches, so a pretty decent sized figure. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Kongster, and overall he is pretty cool. I quite like him. He was pretty fun to play with as a kid, and even now, he looks pretty cool. Especially like how they kind of went out of their way to really show off just how battle damaged Kong gets just by being on Skull Island and fighting all the creatures there. So, yeah. Now, if you wanted one yourself, a lot of the 2005 figures are pretty rare these days. So if you wanted this figure with the dinosaur, it's like over $100. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. Why I tried to get the dinosaur, the Venatosaurus, get another one to go with this review, but it would have been like $70. I'm like, I'm not paying that much for a dinky little dinosaur just for a silly review. So, yeah, yeah, that wasn't happening. So he's quite overpriced these days, but if it's worth it to you, he is pretty cool. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this review. Hope you enjoyed. See you later. Sayonara.